So, good morning to one and all. Today we have discussed the design of end block in prestressed concrete section. Now, the question is generally in case of prestressed concrete section, the end block is the section which is trapezoidal in shape, and the remaining portion, that is from the end block toward the center of the span, we can provide it may be I section, T section. What is the end block? It is the end portion of the prestressed concrete beam surrounding the anchorages of the tendon. Large concentrated force are transmitted on the bearing surfaces at the ends of the beam by the anchorage. The prestress is transferred through the length of the end block from nearly concentrated areas. The stress distribution close to the anchorage is different from the stress distribution at the section away from the anchorage. So, these stresses are spread out into the concrete, setting up complicated stress pattern that we will have discussed in the next slide. The transverse stress developed in the anchorage are tensile in nature over a large length. As concrete is weak in tension, adequate reinforcement should be provided to resist the tension. So, this is the end block. Here we have considered this is the end portion of the beam, prestressed beam. With the help of this plate, that is called as the anchor plate, we have provide the tendon, and if this tendon is stretched, whatever the stresses develop, compressive stresses develop in the concrete, it will be spread like this. This portion with very high stresses, and then it will be distributed. And here it is observed that at a distance of d, that means the effective depth, at a distance of effective depth, the stress distribution even. That means from this portion to remaining portion of the beam, it is constant, and that's why this portion is called as the end block, where the stresses are very high. This is the single plate. Now in this case we have considered this total distance, that means the length, or we can say that the size of the vertical size of the plate, anchor plate, that is called as the 2ypo. And after 100% distribution or even distribution of the stress, that is called as the 2y0. This is the y0 plus y0 from the center, that means 2y0, and this 2y0 is equal to this 2y0. That means we have can consider that this d, that is the effective depth, is equal to 2y0. This is also 2y0, where the uniform stress distribution occur, and this is the 2y0, and this prestressing force transfer to the block, and this portion is called as the end block. This is the single plate. Similarly, this is the two plates, double. Again, here it is observed that this is the y0, this is y0, this is y0, and this is y0. That means 2y0, this is 2y0. At a distance of y0, the stress distribution is even. These are the two plates which used to supply the prestressing force. This is the pressure distribution or stress distribution. Now this is the stress distribution. Of course, the bursting force will be developed like this. This is the plate, and we have applied the prestressing force, and in the beginning of prestressing force, this is along this direction compressive stresses are there, and along this direction, transverse direction, tensile stresses are developed. That is called as the bursting tension. This is the clear picture. Here along this direction, these are the tensile stresses path, and these are the compressive stresses path. Before the end of the total d, small d, effective depth, the stress distribution is like this, compressive stress distribution. And when this total distance is equal to d, that means we can say that the end of the end block, we can say that the pressure distribution is even, that is the stress distribution is even. So we can design this end block. We have take one example. The end block of the post tension beam is 100 mm wide and 200 mm deep. A pressing wire 7 mm diameter traced to 1100 MPa has to be anchored against the end block at the center. The anchor plate is 50 mm by 50 mm. The size of the anchor plate is given. The wire bears on the plate through a female cone of 20 mm dia. With the help of this 20 mm diameter, we can pass this 7 mm diameter wire and trace to 1100 MPa. This is the minimum. Now the permissible stress in concrete at transfer FCI is equal to 20 Newton per mm square, and permissible shear stress in steel as 90.5 MPa. Shear stress is given to you. Determine the thickness of the anchor plate. We can find out the thickness of the anchor plate required to transfer the stressing force safely. Now the stressing force P is equal to diameter of the wire is given 7 mm. That's why pi by 4 into 7, and the trace to 1100, that's why 38.50 is the total area of the wire multiplied by 1100, so it is 42.35 kilonewton. This is the stressing force applied with the help of wire, high tension wire. So 2YPO is equal to 50 because the size plate is like this. This is 50 and this is also 50. Okay, so 2YPO is equal to 50 and 2YO is equal to 100 because the width of the beam is 100 mm. So 100 by 50. So YPO divided by YO is equal to, or we can say that the 2YPO divided by 2YO, 50 divided by 100, we get the 0.5. So average stress is equal to FC is equal to pre-stressing force divided by area. So pre-stressing force is 42.35 and the area is equal to 100 by 200. So it is 2.117 MPa. This is the average stress in the concrete. Permissible bearing pressure is equal to, this is given in IS 1343. So 0.48 multiplied by FCK. Here FCK is 20 or FCI is equal to 20 under root of A divided by AP. A is the area of the concrete section and AP is the area of the anchor plate. So 100 by 200 divided by 50 by 50 under root multiplied by 0.48 FCK, we get the 27.15 MPa. This is the permissible bearing pressure using the ISO. This value should not exceed the another 0.8 FCI. 0.8 multiplied by 20, which is given, so 16 MPa, whichever is smaller. So out of these two values, one is the 27.15 and another is the 16, we have considered the smallest value. So 16 MPa is the permissible bearing pressure. Now actual bearing pressure should be less than permissible bearing pressure, then it is okay. Now actual bearing pressure, pi multiplied by D in the previous lecture. FCI is 20 and here the permissible shear stress in the steel is 90.5 MPa. So actual bearing pressure punching, this is the punching circumference is equal to pi multiplied by D, that is 3.14 multiplied by 20, it is 62.80, and actual bearing stress is equal to, we can say that pi multiplied by D into tau, because there is a development of the shear stress. So pi multiplied by D 62.80 multiplied by tau, which is given, and multiplied by thickness, that is equal to total pre-stressing force. So if T is the thickness of the anchor plate, resisted force is equal to pre-stressing force. Now this resisting force is equal to, we can see that pi into D, that is 62.80 multiplied by tau, that is 90.50, it is already given in the problem, and T is the thickness. that gives the total resisting force, and this resisting force must be equal to the pre-stressing force. So from this equation we can find out the thickness of the anchor plate is 7.45. So use an anchor plate of thickness instead of 7.45 we can use the 8 mm plate. This is the simple problem to find out the thickness of the anchor plate. Now another problem. A post tension pre-stressed concrete beam of span 20 meter, L is equal to 20 meter, pre-stressed by 3 cables each of 5-12 mm strand. That means the 5 wires 12 mm diameter, and there are 3 cables. Tension to 1500 kilonewton. The size of the anchor plate is 150 by 150 mm. The solid end block is as shown in figure. This is the end block which is given. Design the end block for bursting force and sketch the detail of the reinforcement according to the provision given in IS 1343. Now this is the T section. For the remaining section, for the end block, this is the solid trapezoidal section. Now this portion is 250, this is 600. Wave total distance is 1100 minus 250, that gives the remaining, and this is width of the wave is 300 mm. This diagram is given and we can check the bursting force. Now the end block is divided into 3 equal areas with one anchorage located approximately at the center of the area. That means this total area is approximately divided into equal area. Here I have considered 300 mm by this 1500. So 3 multiplied by 5, that is 15 into 10 raised to the power 4, that is the area of this block. Similarly another area, you can find out this distance also, or we can say that 15,000 divided by 3500, we get this distance. This is the second one, and third again this area, that is 600 multiplied by 250, again it is 1500. So we have divided this total block into 3 equal areas, and center of 3 equal area we can place the anchor plate. Plate number 1, 2 and 3. The section of the equivalent prism corresponding to each anchorage force are as shown in figure. This is the diagram. Now the bursting tension calculated as at the bottom anchorage. For the bottom anchorage, that means this portion we have considered this portion, and for this plate. For vertical bursting force, we can find out that the two forces, one is the vertical and second is the horizontal. Now first of all, for vertical bursting force, vertical distance, we have considered YPO is equal to 150, because the size of the plate is square, 150 by 150. So YPO is equal to 150, which is related with the plate, and YO is equal to 500. Width is depth, because this is vertical, that's why we have considered total distance is 500. This is 500 and the plate is 150. So this 2YPO divided by 2YO is equal to 150 divided by 500, it is 0.3. Now force at the bottom is equal to PK, that is the pre-stressing stress, into 0.32 minus 0.3 into YPO divided by YO. This is missing. This is YPO divided by YO. Okay. So PK is equal to all the wires are traced to 1500. So 1500 into 0.32 minus 0.3 into this value is 0.3. So we get the 345 kilonewton is the force exerted at the bottom anchorage. Assume 10 mm 2 leg vertical stirrups. We have considered, either you can consider 6 mm, 8 mm, 10 mm, 12 mm depending on the force. Here I have considered the 10 mm diameter 2 leg vertical stirrup. So number of stirrup is equal to force in the bottom, that is 345 into 10 raised to the power 3 Newton divided by 0.87 Fy into ASV. So 0.87 Fy is equal to 415, it is already given, into ASV, 2 leg vertical stirrups, 2 leg into pi by 4 into square of 10. So we get 6.08 mm. Sorry, not mm, this is numbers, 6.08. So we can provide the 7. So we can provide the 7 stirrups, and the length is equal to, we know that this is total is 1500, and the width is equal to this distance is 300. So this 7 stirrups are provided in 300 mm. So 300 mm divided by 7, we get 42.86. So we can provide the 2 leg vertical stirrups, 7 numbers, 10 mm diameter and 40 mm center to center. This is the reinforcement to resist the shear or bursting force. Similarly, for horizontal bursting force, this is related with the vertical. Now we can find out the horizontal bursting force. 2YPO divided by YO is equal to, again square plate is there, that's why this distance is same 150, but YO is equal to, for horizontal we have considered this distance, that is 300 mm. This distance is 300 mm. So 150 divided by 300, it is 0.5. F for the bottom is equal to, repeat the same formula, Pk multiplied by 0.32 minus 0.3 into YPO divided by YO. So 1500 into 0.32 minus 0.3 into 0.5, we get the 255 is the force required in the horizontal direction. Previously we can find out the vertical. So again we have considered the same diameter, 10 mm diameter, 2 leg vertical stirrups. Again using the same formula we can find out the number of stirrups. So force in the bottom divided by 0.87 Fy ASV, we get 4.49 stirrups. Not number, not mm, it is numbers. So this is the horizontal force, that's why it can provide in vertical direction, and this vertical distance is 500. So this 5 stirrups are provided in the 500 mm distance. So 500 divided by it is 100 mm. So provide 2 leg vertical stirrups, 5 numbers, 10 mm diameter at 100 mm center to center. This is the horizontal reinforcement provided in the bottom portion, because here plate is provided, here plate is provided, here plate is provided, and we can find out the vertical stirrups as well as horizontal stirrups provided in this end block. Similarly, the bursting force in the middle, that means this portion, and the top, that means this portion, are calculated and provide stirrups as shown in figure. You can solve this problem for this middle portion and the top portion. I have already solved this one, and this is the reinforcement detail for the total section. This is the one stirrups, this is another stirrup, this is one more stirrup, but here it is observed that for the total section we can provide the single stirrup like this, and also we can provide the another single stirrup like this. Now this is about the design of the end block. Now for the design of end block, we have discussed this in the design of beam. Thank you very much.